What's up guys, Leaf right here, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be discussing what I feel like is the 4 best features for shooting video with the Panasonic S5, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. So like I said earlier, we're going to be discussing what I feel like are the 4 best features for shooting video with the Panasonic S5. We're not going to get super technical with this, we're not going to go crazy into it, it's not going to be a super long video, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into this video. So feature number 1 that I feel like you should use when you're shooting with the Panasonic S5 is vlog. If you're not familiar with what a log profile is, it's basically an image that has very low contrast, it's very desaturated, it's a very nasty looking image when you first look at it, but it gives you the ability to maintain your highlights, bring back the shadows, and bring back your saturation, and give you the most dynamic range possible that your camera will allow. And with the S5 you get a decent amount of dynamic range with this camera, especially when shooting in vlog. So in my opinion, if you own an S5 or really any camera that has a log profile, that has a beefy enough codec that can hold up to the grading for that log profile, I recommend shooting in that, just because it gives you the most flexibility with your image. It gives you the ability to do what you want with your image, and its image quality, in my opinion, with a log profile just looks better than a standard or neutral picture profile. And again, you just have more flexibility. The dynamic range is better than what you'd get with a standard or neutral picture profile. So feature number 2 is the IBIS. The IBIS on this camera is awesome. Basically anything I've shot, any kind of clips I've done handheld, and you can go back and look at a lot of clips I've posted. You can't really tell that a lot of them were handheld. I mean, Panasonic is known for having really good IBIS. From what I've seen, it's not quite as good as like the GH6 that just came out, or even the GH5, and I can attest that I used to own GH5. It's a little not quite as good as those, but it is still great. The IBIS becomes very handy just because it gives you that freedom in case you have a little bit shaky hand. It'll definitely help get that shake out and just smooth your shot out. Plus you have the option, which I haven't used it yet, the boost IS. Basically you can hold it handheld and it stabilizes it so well that it looks like you're shooting on a tripod. I heard it's not very good to do any kind of panning shots because you can get weird distortion, wobble, that kind of thing. So, but I haven't had a chance to test it out personally, but something I want to at least try out, a few times just to see what it's like. All right, and feature number 3 is the 10-bit color. That, I know I've said in past videos that 10-bit is not a huge deal, and honestly I still don't feel like it's a must, but it is definitely nice to have that 10-bit color because it does give you that flexibility to push and pull your highlights and add color and the image not fall apart. I've noticed that with my 8-bit cameras I had in the past when I would shoot in log, you had to be very careful because if you pushed it too far it would fall apart. With this 10-bit codec and the vlog that I'm shooting in, it handles it so nicely, and it's been a dream to work with, so I definitely can't complain. The 10-bit codec is the 3rd feature that I love about this camera. And feature number 4 that I love about this camera that I feel like you should use if you're shooting video if you're shooting with the S5 is the shutter angle ISO. That has been something I've missed when I left Panasonic cameras, because Sony, Canon, they don't have that option to set that shutter angle ISO. And if you don't know what that is, basically you set that and it automatically sets your camera to the 180-degree rule. So if you're shooting in 24 frames per second, you don't have to worry about adjusting the shutter speed. That setting already does it for you. If you're shooting 60 frames per second, again, you don't have to worry about setting the shutter speed. It does that for you. So that has been something I've been so happy to have, because I don't know how many times when I was using my Sony or my Canon, I would switch to a different frame rate from 24 frames per second, and then I would forget to change the shutter, and it would frustrate me because it just would frustrate me to have to go back and shoot that shot all over again. So having that shutter angle ISO feature on this camera has been awesome to have back. It's a feature that I'm glad to have back that I can use. Alright guys, so those are the 4 features that I think you should be using when you're shooting video on the Panasonic S5, and I feel like they are great features you should definitely think about using if you're using the Panasonic S5 or really any Panasonic S camera. They are going to have those features, And again, like a lot of the other cameras, you know, their prosumer cameras will have a lot of the same features, minus, again, I know the Canons that I've used don't have the shutter angle, just like the Sonys don't as well. Alright guys, we'll go ahead and wrap this video up. So I hope you guys liked it, hope you guys found some use out of it, and don't really know what else to say, but hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you guys at the next one.